Good morning. It is Monday morning, 11 o'clock, time for Caffeine Corner. And I have the wonderful Jeshar and God with us. Good morning.
Hello.
And my fancy magic cup. Hello. Oh, so wow. I don't even know where to begin with this kind of episode today, because we got a call-in episode. We do have a phone number you can actually dial into with a PIN number. I have put it in the video description, and I've also included it in the live chat there. So go find it and call in. What I kind of want to do is this.
For like a year now, by the way.
Hasn't been? It's been over a year. No, it's been over a year, hasn't it?
Yeah. And how many episodes have we done? We've been pretty consistent.
Too damn many. It was only supposed to be a kind of a holdover show till we got non sequitur back, but whatever. But what I thought it would be kind of cool, and I'm not going to be doing this in real time. We're not going to be like doing it as we speak. But I thought that it would be kind of cool to kind of compare what I put as fun facts on my timeline, on my Twitter timeline. If you don't have Twitter, go get it, because I don't know how you're following a lot of this stuff that we talk about if you're not on Twitter. But all the fun facts I had, and compare my success rate and my hit and failure rate compared to like UNIRock, who, for all stretch of imagination, has about a 0% success rate. But I figured if you guys go through it, and if you guys find any errors, you find anything that I've got wrong, I would be happy to correct it. But I want an objective evaluation. I haven't had my first cup of coffee yet. And tell me what you guys think is my success rate when I have fun facts, because facts are generally facts, but of course we all make mistakes. But I want, give me a number like, 80%, 85%, 95%, 100%, and then compare it to UNIRock's success rate. Because I guess he's from Chester, from what I understand, he's still like spinning like a dancing monkey, even though we kept on telling him dance like a monkey, and he's actually doing it, which is kind of comical. But I haven't been following him too much in the last week.
Yeah, I don't pay that much attention outside of like the couple little snippets people send on Twitter, which are just like mostly gold. I was poking a little bit of fun because what was it, last night he was sitting there and he was like leaned forward, his camera's tilted down. Oh, hold on. So he's sitting like this angle, and he's got like his shirt sweater down to here, he's got like a wife beater on, and he's sitting like with his chest puffed out like this, and it's like, are you on internet thought? What are you doing?
Internet thought. Is he trying to do like Twitch streaming? He's gonna be like a Twitch thought or something.
I was wondering.
I personally like the ones where he sits there and Kyle and him were sitting there just in their chairs. That somebody removed the audio from all that and just said squeak, 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 squeak. It's like, dude, they will not sit still. They lied the whole time.
Yeah, and then I don't know if they were in sync or something. They were starting to get like, in sync with each other. Yeah, I did see that. That was actually pretty funny. So somebody pointed out you don't need a Twitter account to go look. That is true, although I think it only goes back so far. I don't think it lets you like look at an entire timeline, but I've already put the filter in, right? If you type in fun fact and then the account that it's from, it'll just show you all my tweets that have the word fun fact in it, or fun facts. And I've already done that. So if you go to the description, all you have to do is click on that. But while we're going through this, for the next 2 hours or so, let me know if you guys find any errors, and then just throw out a number. Say, hey, Steve, I think your hit rate is about 80%, 90%, 95%. I'm shooting for a 95, obviously, because that's our favorite number. But also, I don't think you don't have to look at every single one, right? I mean, you could do a sample and just take a statistical sample. I mean, if you sample 20 and you find 1 out of 20 that's wrong, then you've got a 95% success rate, right? Just like you didn't tell me we're going to be doing math, Steve.
Listen, it's 50-50-90. Every time you have a 50-50 chance, there's a 90% chance you're going to get it wrong. And that's
a fact.
90% wrong.
That's a fun fact. 50-50-90 rule is an ontological fact. But let me put the number in the live chat again. It is a separate number with a separate hangout. It's not a vMix call. So we will have God here basically fielding the calls. I guess later on today, somebody is actually having a hangout so people can call in and apologize to me on their channel for some strange reason. I don't get it. It makes
I
no
don't
sense
get
to me
that.
whatsoever.
But I feel like she's really just opening up herself to have a bunch of people who actually like Steve call in and talk about how great Steve is.
I don't see that happening because nobody really watches her stuff. I mean, I don't pay. I
I
have
just
not
think
watched a
nobody
single video
really
from her in like
to it.
the last video I saw from her is when we did that train wreck thing, and what was that, a year ago?
Oh God, yeah, that was
Yeah, that was
time
about the last one
ago.
I actually watched. I
To be
guess she
fair,
does
those
stuff
are
every
fun.
Monday, but nobody watches besides, the whole couple sycophant people that follow her. But other than that, nobody gives a crap. But yeah, I think it's just weird that somebody's being a gatekeeper. And instead of, if somebody actually wants to apologize to me, knowing what they know now, as they can actually go look at the court records, they can contact me directly. I literally just deleted everybody from my hidden list. I deleted my entire block list from Twitter. Legit. Now, has it started filling up again? Yes. Why has it started filling up? One, there are just certain people I never want to have contact with. And as I see them around, even if they haven't contacted me, I will block them. And I had one or two of them actually tag me. It's like, do they not understand no means no? When you tell somebody you never want to hear from them and they contact you repeatedly for years, I don't know how that's not a form of harassment. I don't know how that's not constitutive of
It is
exactly
a
what the
form of
behavior we talk
harassment.
about. Isn't it?
It is like the
Am I?
definition of harassment.
You would think so, right? But no, to them, they find it perfectly acceptable behavior. But I have started blocking people, and people obviously will come around to the live chat, and as they do, my mods will block them. But there have been a few people that were kind of in the middle ground. They weren't like a complete shitlord, but they have told me, yes, Steve, you were right. Yes, UNIRock was wrong. UNIRock is a liar. We recognize that. But, some of them were like, oh, but he's still entertaining. Hey, knock yourself out, man. Yeah, I don't care. Look, if you think he's entertaining, as long as you know you're being lied to, my job is done at that point. What else?
Yeah, well, yeah,
do,
it's a
right?
matter of like people. You can watch a bad movie and enjoy it because it's bad.
Yeah, that's true. Trolls 2, right? Is that?
Yeah, exactly. So you could watch a bad YouTuber. Like people were watching Onision because they wanted to see what train wreck was going on, not because they liked Onision. People like a villain.
Yeah, and the ones
People like dancing
that basically
monkeys.
hate watch, they're not the ones that paying him any money or anything.
That's not even hate watch sometimes. I think people just are, it's a train wreck and they can't look away. They're like, what crazy thing is this person going to say next?
The words are
like
morbid curiosity. Those are the words you're looking
Yeah, there you
for.
go.
Well,
Yeah.
the reality is, if you really have that much more of a curiosity, if you want to go see what UNIRock's doing, one, just get to Twitter. People have been uploading the highlights, and also go to like Little Red's channel and
Oh yeah, there are ways of watching it where you don't
yeah.
actually have to support him
I won't
directly,
sit through
or sit through his whole thing. Yeah, yeah. Highlight reels are a thing. Thankfully,
yeah, I mean, he does
I tried.
6-hour videos.
I tried to, and I listened for 2 hours, and then he said, "Well, I only got about 3 minutes left." And the people I was listening with took it away from the speaker, so I didn't have to hear it anymore. Out of respect to me, I guess. But they were I talked to them for 2 more hours, and guess who was still going? UNIRock. UNIRock was still going. It was 4 hours later.
And from what I understand, like I said, I didn't watch it, but for 4 hours, if you're just spewing the same old rhetoric over and over again, at that point, you're just indoctrinating your viewers, right? I mean, they're basically, you're saying things so many times that you're just trying to change reality, when reality isn't going to change because you have a false belief. UNIRock has been shown to have been wrong. There's no question about it. And then I guess he's trying to blame us that we didn't inform him of everything, which, by the way, we did. And second, he made up some weird narrative, Chesh, that Nate had told us the stuff was forged back in June. How the hell would Nate have known? Nate never talked. I don't talk to Nate.
I can think of one way a Nate might have known, but that's not very flattering to Nate.
Oh,
correct.
Okay, fair point. Take that on consideration. But no, that's not what Nate told.
And we are not saying by any stretch of the words that Nate did that.
No, I don't think he did either. I will go on record. I don't think Nate had anything to do with forgery. I do think he helped him concoct the story, but that's my own personal belief.
I plead the fifth.
And who knows? Like I said, at this point, nothing is impossible at this point when it comes to all that. But the fact remains is that Nate only told Kyle that. Yeah, Nate. No, Nate only told Ruhif. Too many people, too many players in this. I can't even keep them all straight at this point. This is why I need more coffee. There really is.
It's too good of a term.
I know. I like the term shitlord too. It's sad that it's been kind of denigrated, huh?
Yeah.
It used to have some meaning to it, but yeah, no. Nate told Ruhif that he knew from the beginning, basically, that Kyle never lived with Ben, and this makes all his videos about me and all the narrative that I had Kyle served to the wrong address. Nate knows that was all bullshit. He knows it. He actually told Ruhif he's always known that Kyle.
Guess what? Guess what? We have a caller.
Yay! Our first caller.
Hello.
At least today. It's probably Moon, isn't it? It's gonna be a Moon.
I hope so.
Go ahead,
Hello?
Mr. Serious. Jesus
that is not Moon.
Christ.
That sounds more like Mr. Serious than Moon.
What? Can you guys hear me, or am I not coming through good?
You sound fantastic.
Good. Sometimes I have issues, and I'm never sure.
We all have issues.
How are you? Tell us how you're doing. I was on your show yesterday.
Yes, Cheshire and me were on a show about 24 hours ago, exactly. And we were talking about canceling, and I'm surprised she got through it without getting canceled herself. But in the end, we came to a reasonable conclusion that we should cancel boomers.
So much canceling.
I'm joking. We didn't come to that conclusion.
So, how are you doing otherwise?
Well, my family, who I live with, has they got a call on Sunday saying that somebody who they had come in contact with has tested positive for COVID. And being immune compromised, it makes me worry. So I'm kind of trying to stay quarantined away from people I live with, which is really hard. But yeah, that's kind of what's going on with me. Not great news, but
I'm sorry, that sucks.
Oh yeah. It was kind of my worst nightmare, but the UNIRock has been an interesting what do you call it, distraction.
And also, what do you got for us on that?
Well, I mean, what I can't understand is why in the world Batty decided to say anything again. Because he literally said he said nothing. Yeah, he said literally nothing. He just wanted to come in and be a contrarian to Steve, and that's all he had.
That's all he ever has. I mean, the guy. Okay. Beatty is a nutter. He's a straight-up OCD nutter, right? And the only thing that he will ever say, he did the same thing in the Facebook group. Either this or it's not that. That's all he ever says. Either you did or you didn't. Oh, either the judge will, the judge won't. It's all he understands about logic. Go look at his post. Go look. All his posts are like that.
Not everything is a dichotomy.
No, but that's true. But he only recognizes a very, very strict dichotomy because that's all he understands of the topic. And it's just, like you said, it's a complete contrarianism. It has no points to be made. He has no argumentation. He just wants to have attention. No value. Yeah. And no value whatsoever.
Yeah, I tried to give him, I gave him the most benefit of the doubt tweet ever. So where he could, pull back and maybe make a point. And like I said, I even gave him facts he should already have, just to, not saying that he didn't have them, but just given the fact that all this stuff happened, what do you think's going to happen? And he didn't reply. He just liked my comment. I mean, I gave him the easiest, just reply to the things I said, and then you'll look like you know something tweet ever. And he refused to take it. He just wanted to be a contrarian and not get involved.
Do you think that he just lacks the ability to formulate a cohesive conclusion based upon simple inductive reasoning, because he doesn't. He doesn't put his neck out for anything. We at least make predictive things, right? We say, hey, we think this is going to be the case. Are we always right? No. Will we always be right? Of course not. But I think our hit rate is a hell of a lot more successful than most people out there. And
it's okay being wrong.
No, it's not.
As long as you can go back and say that, given what you knew and given the way things were, whatever was going on at the time, that it was reasonable to come to the conclusion you made, I think you're okay. If you don't come to that conclusion, then it's that's where learning becomes a thing, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Batty can't do that apparently. I don't know when the last time you learned anything was probably a long time ago.
No, I agree with you. I think that most of us, when we make a conclusion, we draw upon what we have to draw upon at the time. And do we come to the right conclusion? No. But is it justified? Most of the time. However, I got to tell you, when it comes to UNIRock, those are not justified conclusions. Those are just BS. Those are just, LARPing for his audience, which I still think has got to be done. And there's no possible way they can't be. I mean, we all know that UNIRock lied. I mean, this is not a matter of if that's true or not. It is just true. But they don't care. They're like, well, we're like, UNIRock lied only because Steve didn't put out all the information. How does that even follow?
It's quite literally. I mean, this is what I think it is. I want to say it's literally this because I don't know. How am I supposed to know? But from what I saw, because I was there the day he went crazy. I was in every chat he was in that day, trying to talk him about it going crazy. So I followed him from place to place, watching him go insane.
Yeah, you were like, hey, listen, this is a complicated situation and there's a lot going on and this seems to be a little bit out of your depth. Maybe it seems like you're having some issues with this thing. Maybe you should call this kind of professional.
Oh yeah.
Well, I think a lot of these people need professional help.
I tried to stop him. It was like watching a train slow, going 2 miles an hour, but then just wrecking into another train that stopped. You can easily stop. Just stop.
It's the scene from what is
Diggity
it, Austin
hole.
Powers? When he's they're driving the forklift, the guy's like, no, and the forklift is up.
Well, and that's
Austin Powers with the steamroller.
That's why I made my
it's a
vote.
steamroller, yeah.
And by the way, there's no wrong answer here, but I put that vote out for people of what they think is more the case. Did Ruhif and myself make UNIRock basically lie and make him dance for us, or did he do that all on his own as we said he was going to do? I mean, we did a slow burn for a reason. We said, hey, this guy's going to make up crap. He's not going to know what the hell's going on. He can't show he understands any of this stuff. His crack team is not going to be able to produce anything. Let's, show that to people. We did.
What you did was you gave them an opportunity. That's what you did. You gave them an opportunity to not be stupid, and they chose.
They did not take advantage of it. They did not take advantage of that. Well, Kyle didn't either. How many outs did we give Kyle? I mean, they're just dead set on doing the absolute wrong thing.
I think this is the way it looks like to me. I think that Uni will take any opportunity that, even if it's really, really dumb, any opportunity to try to turn people against Steve. Okay. And that's one of the reasons why Kyle went on his show, because he's like, hey, you want to hate bash on Steve for 2 hours? Kyle's going to be there. Be there or be square. He'll be there. Everybody will be there. And everybody who feels the same is going to contact him. But even though you've been giving him the smartest thing to do would be nothing. And doing anything is stupid. He doesn't care because he'll take the stupidest road possible as long as he can turn one more person against Steve.
I don't think he does that though. I think that he only really right now capitulates to the audience that already is Steve hater for whatever reason. I don't think he's really turned anybody. I mean, he has a small dwindling group left, and they're just they don't care about the truth. They don't care about the facts.
You see, I don't think he's actually turning people against you. I think that he thinks that he is, maybe.
No, he's just cultivating the ones that already are. Because,
yeah. He thinks that when in the future, when all that's left are Cerberus and aliens come and look at all the evidence, they're going to be like, man, Steve was such a terrible guy. Look at all this stockpiles of videos saying about how bad he is.
Except
Yeah,
that
there's
I still
something
put it
that
out there. Anybody's seen that I lied, I'd like to know where it's at because I'm still waiting for that. It's out there somewhere.
I just don't get that whole
Google it.
just
it.
like how.
But Dave, it's out there. Haven't you seen it? Yesterday, somebody had asked, Sinister Part, whatever her name is. They said, "Hey, you made a claim that Ben claimed that Kyle was living with him in this deposition. What page is this on?" And she's like, "Well, can't be bothered to go find it.
I can't be asked. I can't be asked to go look for it." I'm like, didn't see it. That would be all over the place. I think we have someone else in the call too. I don't know if they're still here.
But let's get to them in a second. So, Mr. Serious, it is kind of funny though. I'm kind of taken aback at the level UNIRock goes to try to spin stuff. The whole thing with Nate.
Here.
Oh well, Nate should have told Stephen Ruhiff should have told us what Nate told him about the forgery, which was nothing. And we've been saying for a year now, Kyle's lied. What else do they want? And we're not there to obligated to tell UNIRock a damn thing. We stopped telling him facts ages ago. Him and his community, by the way, let me make this very clear to people. UNIRock and his fandom are not part of this community. Period. Those people I have no association with. They're not part of our community.
Hi.
Is that Moon?
How are you?
I'm good. I heard Steve say, "Is that Moon coming on?" And I heard you say, "Oh yes, please let it be." It was Mr. Serious, so I had to call.
But man,
we'll let Mr. Serious,
We bullied her.
We
bullied her into calling us. It was emotional
we love you,
manipulation.
Moon, but you're number 2 today, Moon.
That's fine. Mr. Serious can win over me anytime.
Aw, see? I believe we have a super chat.
Helios5 says, I'm responsible for Batty going to uni. I was there trying to stop him, and he mentioned he was acting like Uni, and that's how he learned who Uni is. Damn it, Helios.
Damn it, Helios. We're going to blame you on Picker Cootie for that. UNIRock latches on to like the weirdest things and the weirdest people and just thinks that he's trying to make a point that he never makes. Batty's weird. Just straight up. That's why I just said I didn't have anything to do with him because I'm like, this guy is just crazy. Why would I deal with this?
Well, I'll let you guys talk to Moon. I just want to say one last thing. My unbiased opinion, or maybe very biased opinion again about UNIRock, is that I believe that he would swim through a mile of sewage if he got the chance to spit on Steve's image, as long as it got him some vape juice in the end.
I agree.
Right?
Yep. No, I think you're spot on with that.
That sounds incredibly accurate. Incredibly accurate.
I like that.
Oddly, specifically accurate, but accurate.
I'll talk to you guys later.
Yep.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks for calling.
Bye,
So,
Moon.
Moon, what do you got?
Yeah,
How you feeling?
Moon.
Yes. So, I just think that, to be fair, I think that UNIRock, I agree with Mr. Serious. He'll look for any reason to continuously hate you, no matter how minor or minute it is. I mean, you could like drop a grape on the ground and he's going to say you assaulted the grape. So, I just think that anymore, it feels like he is just not worth the energy or time because he is so stupid that we don't even have to prove anything. He proves the point of being stupid every time he streams.
That was the whole point of the slow
So,
to show that he does it to himself. We didn't make him
Yes.
look stupid. Matter of fact, I mean, we just gave him the tools to make himself look stupid, and he took advantage of this.
No, you gave him You gave him
An
the
opportunity.
tools to make himself not look stupid, and then he
Yeah.
chose to look stupid anyway.
Tools can be used either way, but sure, yeah, either one works. But yeah, he chose to. I mean, he literally chose to not take advantage of the information being provided to him. His own crack team of coders, they didn't know what the hell they were doing. He didn't know what he was doing. He got everything wrong. This has been demonstrated. Then he has the audacity to blame it on us, saying, well, they didn't just give us all the information. No, we really did have been giving out the same information to everybody. And
We
have been
gave
right on
out
that
the
Yeah.
information. ad nauseum we gave out the information. We gave out so much information. I'm getting tired of seeing this information, people.
I completely agree. I mean, what else is there to show at this point to prove that Kyle completely altered files? I mean, that's just all there is to it. And he doesn't have any experts. He has his Discord group. None of them are experts.
No, I know.
I think one of my favorites is in regards to Kyle, in Kyle's deposition, at one point, so the deposition is about credibility, like about deciding who is credible in this case. Not only does Kyle admit to lying, and not only is he like non-responsive to things, but at one point he essentially tells Scott that that's none of your concern. It's like, bro, why would you?
You know what? That
say
reminds
that?
me. I totally forgot. Thank you for reminding me, Chesh. I got to send Scott a video that Thoughts by Jay Brown made of Kyle talking shit about the lawyer, going, well, yeah, he was just droning on about this, and by the time he got done, I was going to look over to Scotty, and I was like, maybe I did forge everything, and all of a sudden it's like pwned, and the sunglasses come down and the music starts playing, and I'm like, that didn't age well, now did it?
If anybody wanted to, they could make a video of UNIRock debunking UNIRock. Also, you could go through, which I think would be interesting, I think somebody should do at some point, is take the first video of Kyle talking about this when things first went down, the very first non sequitur show that he streamed after kicking Steve out, and how he's talking about things and trying to get things resolved as quick as possible, and then look at the latest stream of Kyle and just side by side.
Has it changed? Yeah, before it's like, oh, I'm gonna pay Steve. Yeah, we'll work it out, and then in the background it's like, hey, Steve, please come back. I'm like, no, and all of a sudden, a year later, he's running every character assassination trick in the book against me. And it comes out later on that he lied about everything, literally from day one. I mean, the whole thing with the whole medical, even he lied about, and yet people are still like, oh, well, that doesn't make Steve a good guy. Okay, fine, I could make me out to be an asshole, whatever, but I didn't lie. He did. I mean, I don't understand their moral outrage when I've been demonstrated and vindicated time after time after time. But yeah, whatever. It's well, Kyle, we just need to forgive him. All he needs to do is come on and just say, he's sorry. It's like, no, it don't work that way, man.
To be fair, I don't think Uni knows how to spell the word demonstration.
I think a lot of words he doesn't know too well.
And I'm awful, so coming from me, yeah, provably.
Well, look, people know I'm not a great speller, so I'm not going to dog on the guy for spelling. But and we also, I have to get words wrong too. But I correct my shit. He doesn't. He still gets things like extradite and expedite vastly confused. He's like, oh,
I know
they're going to extradite Ruben from Australia.
I know. I heard that they're going to extradite Ruben from Australia.
Yeah, the judge is saying expedite, and he doesn't understand the difference for some reason. I don't know. It's weird.
Like, how is the U.S., any U.S. government, going to extradite someone from Australia?
Yeah, well,
We're gonna call the FBI, okay? The FBI can do whatever they want anywhere in the world, didn't you know?
I mean, you're a pro-lib. Hey, you know what? We should call the FBI on Cheshire and Steve. And people are like, what the hell's wrong with you? Steve's going to jail. For what? What the hell have I done?
Every time I see little clips from Uni where he says something really dumb like that, I feel like my brain cells just jump overboard the ship in my brain and say, not today. And they try to swim away as fast as they can because it's just so stupid. Gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he
Anyway.
could feature on our show someday as like what's the weekly derp?
Yes.
Well,
I think,
you know,
well, we do have a sponsor coming up, and it's
Mm.
UNIRock, and I've already put it together. It's not going to be tonight's derp, but it'll be in the next few weeks derp. But it's UNIRock's How to Decode the Coder guide, or whatever, and it's ludicrous nonsense, and there's all of these side effects that come with it. So you'll have to wait and see that coming up on the derp.
Your sponsors. The Nathan Thompson one was so good.
Oh my gosh, that Nathan Thompson one was hilarious. And then we have last week we did, I don't remember what we did last week now. I think it was it was Gary Wabinga's push button that you just push and it automatically goes onto every YouTube stream of FTFE's, Teams, MC Tunes, everybody's, and just puts a bunch of hogwash about flat Earth just to save the first time. It's just like a push button.
we're gonna be doing some of
I
that
mean,
stuff again. I don't know if you watched the other night, but Younger the Creationists come on, and so I want to get back to some of that kind of derp a little
That was
bit.
a really good show last night, I think.
It was good. We did, yeah. Everybody did well. I was really happy with that episode, even though it was, kind of, not of high production value. But I mean, here's the thing. One thing I kept explaining to Kyle is that, look, it's nice to have the graphics and the production value, and sure, people will probably tune in for a little bit of that. But if you don't have the content, the rest of it doesn't matter. I mean, I've seen people with very high production values have just absolute crap content.
You mean the graphics aren't 90%?
Yeah, shocker, right?
95%. Wow.
Yeah, DEF CON. Yeah, so I want to do some more DEF CON. John Giovanni said DEF CON. I would love to, but Landon has been really busy lately. So when he gets a little bit unbusy, then I wouldn't mind doing some more DEF CONs. Those were fun. Definitely.
I love Landon. I don't care what he's talking about.
Everybody loves Landon. Yeah, like I said, we know smart people that come on and talk about smart
things. And I don't mean I don't care about what Landon's saying when he's speaking, god damn it. I mean that he can talk to me about anything and I would love to listen to it. Before that gets clipped out of context.
Yeah, he's very informative on a lot of different topics, to say the least.
Man, he could lie to me and I would be happy about it. Read me the phone book, Landon.
Well, I'm going to hop off here. I just felt like I had to call after I heard you guys asking if it was me coming on, and I felt like, okay, I'm going to call so they can know that I love them. And
well, we appreciate it.
But
glad you're doing well.
Yes, I am exhausted. Not even going to lie, I am absolutely exhausted. But I don't feel bad today. I'm just consistently low energy and fatigued right now, but I'll be okay.
Special thanks to the community and everybody who to her GoFundMe. You guys are amazing, and that's really what community and building a good place and is all about. So thank you, everybody.
You mean we actually help people rather than harm them like other channels do? That we actually support people and we are be able to build.
Oh my gosh, y'all just have no idea how much support this is. I mean, you guys don't even know. I'm working now off of a negative balance with my doctor because I went ahead and took what was deposited and just paid it all to my doctor, so that way I'm ahead. And then I just work off of a negative balance. That's awesome. Just what I did.
It was either give to your GoFundMe or for Kyle to get another lawyer. And...
Yeah. Well, I love you guys, and I will talk to you all later.
And
have a good day.
Bye. And we have 3 other people here. So I don't know who these people are.
Got a lot of background noise from all 3, so can we pick one and the other 2 mute and we go from there?
Sure. Oh wait, someone dropped. So we only have 2. So the one whose number ends in 85, can you mute? I will mute you.
4-5?
No, go ahead.
This is Chelsea.
All right, go ahead. Chelsea! How are
Hello,
you?
how are you? I'm
Yeah,
actually
you haven't
waiting
met
on Ben to
Cheshire
bring me
yet.
coffee.
Oh, really?
Is this
So,
the Chelsea
you know
that
what?
I think the Chelsea is? Is this the Chelsea that's in
That
the
is the
depositions?
Chelsea. Yes, that is the
Oh,
one that
I've
I've
never
kept
spoken
hidden
Hi.
to
from
you.
people.
Hello. You're a
I have
reporter.
not. Here's the thing. I have
No,
not brought
no,
Chelsea
I'm
into
a
the
stock
limelight
account.
for. Yeah.
Oh,
According
Well,
to
I
Uni.
didn't bring you into the limelight for a very specific reason, as you know. But unfortunately, you were thrust into it, and so people have no idea who you are and how you're related to all this. But
Yeah,
first
yeah.
of all, before you get started, I really do want to thank you, just very, very much from the bottom of my heart. You didn't have to get yourself involved in any of this. You did what you wanted to do the right thing. You wanted to do your, for the best for Ben, and I'm serious. I really do appreciate everything that you did because you spent a lot of time working on the chronology of all this stuff and going through the messages.
I
So why
did.
don't you get people
I've read way
tell
too
people
many
what happened?
text messages than what I would ever want to read of a personal friend of mine's again.
Well,
I
tell
mean,
people who you are and how you got involved in this because they have no idea who you are right now.
yeah.
Yeah, so I know Ben and Kyle. Met Kyle after they went on their like second date. And the funny thing about all this, whenever there was legal stuff that had come up and arose initially before we really knew who Kyle was. I mean, I actually even offered Kyle assistance, but he'd lied and said to me that he had already had an attorney and didn't need any help. But just kind of with my background, I'm friends and familiar with a lot of different types of attorneys with the job and stuff that I do. But I mean, it's kind of funny that this has come full circle because from at the beginning, just knowing that since Kyle was with Ben, I'd even offered him to get him help and get him some legal advice pro bono. And he, let me know he didn't need it and that he was all taken care of and squared away. Little did me or Ben know that was all a lie. So
Well, that's kind of
let's maybe get.
I wonder how much that makes his.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Jess.
Sorry. I wonder how much that makes his GoFundMe even more fraudulent to get an attorney if he had an opportunity to get one pro bono but decided not to.
Well, I mean, I think with the whole thing with Kyle, I can't remember the exact time. I want to say I can't remember the exact time because again, Ben didn't know about a lot of this stuff, the court case, until way later. I mean, he really kind of kept all of this hidden from the people that knew him. And what a lot of people, I guess on the other side, I know Ben's gotten a lot of support from you guys, but what a lot of people don't realize is that Kyle definitely once he got, I guess, his hooks into Ben, really did do the abusive kind of manipulative thing of trying to isolate him from friends and family, and he would kind of be one way, say that he wanted to be around in it, all of us, but was very much that just not forthcoming. And like I said, by the time it did come out, Kyle liked to kind of pretend like he had everything under control, despite his whole world just unraveling around him. And he would feed lies to everyone in his real life, just like he does on his online life, just saying that just outlandish things. I mean, he always had a different story for different things, or I mean, the stuff that I heard about non sequitur prior to actually knowing what was going on was again totally different than what the reality of it was. I mean, I heard that it was going to be hundreds of thousands of dollars that he was making and all this stuff, and it was kind of crazy because I was like, "What? You don't have a car? You don't have a car, and we're always paying for your things." And it's just it's been very bizarre seeing it from, I guess, firsthand point of view to what how online perceived it. Just everything. Like, I mean, the fact that people even question if he lived with Ben or not, and I can say firsthand, he definitely did not. He even stayed the night at my condo because he was unwelcome at Ben's one night in November, and was going to have to either sleep at the train station to get home, or or
Right.
essentially stay at our place.
Let's talk about that very specifically, because firsthand all about this. You were intricately associated with both these people for the entire last year. At any time, was Kyle actually living with Ben, as according to what Kyle was saying?
No, not at all. He would come
Not
over
at
for
all.
the weekends, and that's what I tell people all the time. Like, if you even go back and look at the dates, it was like he would come on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and supposed to leave out Sunday night. And the times that he stayed over were because and it was and the reason
they're in the record.
And the reason that he ever stayed longer was literally because while Ben was at work, he missed the train. I mean, even I drove him up to the train once because he overslept and called me freaking out. And, he would always kind of, mysteriously, miss his train. And that would be the only time he was there for more than 3 days. So, I mean, it's really bizarre. I mean, there wasn't one time that, I mean, he'd never, hands down, never lived with Ben. I want to say in February, after they'd had their big blowout fight, and whenever they'd kind of patched things over, they spoke briefly about it, but it never came to fruition because they again broke up not too long afterwards. But I mean, the whole I mean, it's just, like I said, it's totally bizarre because, I mean, if these people had known Ben, they would know that, he was adamantly opposed living with a significant other, off the bat or at all for a good period of time, just because of a previous relationship. So, I mean, the fact that he would even try to claim that, he had stayed with them in July and August and lived with them then is just absolutely bizarre and nonsensical. I mean, they'd literally just met in June, and Ben had already kind of been burned on moving too quickly in the past, and so it was never even an option. Which the text messages are sealed, but I mean, if you go through the messaging, I mean, all the way even up through March, you have Kyle saying, that he's looking for housing in, Charlotte, and that was what he was trying to do to be closer or to help fix their relationship, because that was always a source of contention since he had, lied about that and, lied about his intents on or ability to even move, which obviously came about whenever I tried to help Kyle find a rental.
So where do you think all his money went?
You were helping Kyle try to find a place.
She had MLA listings, like legit helping him try to find a place.
Yep. But I mean, he wasn't qualifiable because he had no income. And since I'm close to Ben and since that was a lie, he would avoid ever sitting down and making things official. Because then obviously I would have been privy to know that he has no income or actual ability to move out of his mom's house.
Yeah, and so people know you're not just some schmuck off the street. You're named in the depositions.
I don't even live at my mom's house now. I stayed there for Corona, and when I had people steal money from me, and I had to move across the country, and they're like, "How dare Chesh live at her mom's house?" And I'm like, what is this? What is this? Nonsense.
Speak of the devil.
Yeah, I know you. I know you broke down the chronology of the timeline.
Hi, everyone.
Oh,
Hi,
hey,
Ben.
Ben hanging out with you. Hi, Ben. You guys are actually hanging out right now together?
Well, yeah. I mean, we do a lot of integral work together, so most of our days are spent together. So that's. But I will say, what's even crazier with Uni even trying to claim that information was kept hidden or this or that. Right after. Then and you made contact in September and everything, and I did not have Twitter until just recently because I obviously wanted to see what all this was about. I was I'm not social media or Twitter or YouTube savvy on the personal side of things, aside from doing stuff for companies, but I got on, and both Ben and I went in there, and I tried to emphatically tell him, like, hey, like, I am Ben's friend, and I am looking at his bank statements, and I can promise you that these payments were never made. Like, this is wrong. And
you mean
I got
UNIRock
blocked.
had the facts from the beginning, but chose not to evaluate them properly?
Yeah. I mean, I got
Shocker.
blocked as a sock and a liar. And it was just so bizarre because I was, I was just like, well, I'm trying to tell you guys. I'm literally staring at the accounts right now, and
Oh, by the way, you were right.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
but
I was just like, and that was even the first thing. I mean, whenever all this came about, and I sat down with Ben, I was like, let's pull up your bank statements. Let's just double check, make sure that there's nothing, nothing that can be perceived the wrong way, or let's line everything up and make sure that it's just correct. And I mean, of course, you obviously spoke with me and Ben in September, and obviously we verified his accounts with y'all's attorney. It's obvious that we all knew from even just that, waiting on the subpoena and everything was just icing on the cake.
Yeah, we knew what the subpoena was going to come back as. That was a no-brainer
Right.
for us. It was funny, as Ruth and I were saying, we know how this ends, right? We were trying to tell them very specifically, and this excuse, well, we're not going to believe Steve or Ruth at face value. Okay, look, our track record is pretty damn impeccable. That's the whole point of people going through my Twitter and saying, look at the fun facts and see what my track record actually is. I'm pretty usually correct. But all the stuff we put out, hey, fun fact, we were right. And by the way, this whole weird narrative, remember, UNIRock saying, well, Steve and Ruhif were hanging on to Ben since like January or February, and, just brought him out the last moment. And like, we never had talked to him until September 6th. There was a Sunday. That was the first time I ever had any communication with Ben at all that was brought out in trial. And yet UNIRock's still trying to run that weird, bizarre narrative.
Well, the other narrative too that I emphatically want to make sure is clear, they keep trying to say that, Ben must be receiving some sort of, compensation or was bribed or this or that, or what else are they doing? They got him, legal representation. I offered, before Ben decided to go with Scott, y'all's attorney, we called, I spoke with 3 separate ones and had, been prepared, to take on the expense of that if that was the best course of action. But from 3 separate attorneys, after reviewing everything, they felt that it, would be a lot. More or less, they're just like, just to do the deposition for them to get involved, just to depose Ben would have, been nonsensical since they hadn't been involved this entire time. But I mean, Ben had even other options. There was no manipulation or alternative motive, or any other narrative that could have been done. I mean, again, if the legal counsel that we spoke to, 3 independent ones, had said that he needed to have his own attorney, Ben would have had his own attorney, and it would have not been covered by a GoFundMe. It would have been covered by me and him. So it's, to me, it's just, it's really funny that,
yeah, no, I agree with you. It made sense. And that's what we told Ben. We said, look, Ben could testify to you. I told him, dude, do what's best for you. You think you need a separate attorney? You think you want Ruhif to help you out with it? Because he said he would, or he could do it himself. But I was like, the point being is Scott is already familiar with this case. So if you want to retain Scott and Ruhif pays for it, we're on the same page, right? Yeah. So I mean, obviously Scott has confidentiality with Ben. Like, I didn't see any of the text messages that they were sent, except for the 2 that Kyle had actually done.
Right.
But all the ones that are sealed weren't sent to me. Not my business, right? Even though we have the same, the goals, he's still a separate client of Scott. But we were like, hey, Scott is already familiar with this. Might as well just use him. And I think the judge agreed, because the judge was like, if you want to use, Scott. So
right. Which I mean, and that's also, I mean, like I said, we did call, 3 other people and
absolutely,
confirm and did that due diligence. But I was like, the narrative of the fact of, Ben receiving any money or, being forced to use Scott's stuff, all that's just, it's, ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
There was also a weird narrative. There's also a weird narrative of, Ben having his house due to like an inheritance and all this kind of stuff. And just, basically that's all, he works really hard, makes his own money. He doesn't need money from, Ruhif or from you, Steve, or, you know, so it's really comical.
Hey, look, the only money I offered him, was just to reimburse him if he needed to have something notarized, which was written about $20. And he's like, and by the way, he didn't need that because emergency procedures. But yeah, there was no offer of any kind for myself or Ruhif. That was a complete bold-faced lie from UNIRock that had nothing to do with anybody else. That is something that he made up, right? But Cheshire has been trying to say something, so.
There's something that I just wanted to touch on because you said you had tried to give this information and you got blocked as a SOC account. Because I think a lot of us are expecting you to be like, oh, I was just trying to get both sides. That's why I was talking to Kyle. I was blah, 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 blah. But it's really interesting when somebody completely outside of the situation, isn't affiliated with anybody, tries to give him information.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be clear. I mean, I'd never heard of, before meeting Kyle, I'd never heard of non sequitur. Even after meeting Kyle, I didn't know who Steve McRae was, or I didn't know who you were, Cheshire, until September 6th. After, you know, well, even after that, I mean, it still was a couple days. I mean, Ben obviously was freaking out about his signature being forged on 2 documents. And to us, it was just like, what, you know, because I've been sitting here with Ben and I've been seeing the harassment that has been coming from Kyle, you know, I mean, it was almost like a drinking game where, you know, it'd be like, okay, how many times is Kyle going to try to come up with another way to contact Ben? But what a lot of people don't know either is that we were in the process of filing a 50B no contact order on September 4th, before all of this came about. And unfortunately, one of our friends that is an attorney that was helping him fill all the paperwork out for it was not familiar with Max and exited out of Safari as opposed to minimizing it, which they'd spent 3 hours collecting all of the data. And then it wasn't but the next night that, you know, Ben got on Twitter and found out that his info had been signed. And so it's you know, it's really weird, like I said, being on the other side of it, where this hasn't been something that either of us had followed or really knew anything about. But the harassment from Kyle, the forged signatures, you know, seeing that play out, you know, in real time versus what I guess the internet thinks how it played out. It's just totally bizarre. And it's really bizarre whenever, you know, you have no reason to lie about anything, but it's all, you know, people don't believe it is truth. Whenever you're just like, it's you know, obviously it's so obvious to me and Ben that it's true because, you know, we've seen it happen.
I mean, you lived it firsthand. I mean, you know that we've been telling the truth. And
it's obvious to her. It's even more real for me.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. It's nice that we have actual people that are involved that know firsthand stories, right? I mean, these are actual primary sources that UNIRock doesn't have. He's excluded from primary sources.
He had the opportunity and blocked them as trolls. So for somebody who says they're just trying to get all sides and look at all the information, the internet decided that this was a lie.
Yes, I completely agree that was a complete BS lie. He's not looking for objective.
Well, the thing is like they just throw anything out there to try and make a point that basically is bullshit. Like even the going back to the whole I was paid off by your Ruhif. Like, what does it fucking matter? First of all, like where the money's coming from these people who funded a fraudulent campaign. Fuck yourself.
So how much?
Second of all,
did you make? Wait. Let's get on record.
Second of all,
how much did you? Wait.
It's
how
not
much
even
did
true.
you make from Ruhif and I? How much did you make from Ruhif and I?
Nothing. I'm going to pay you on your next live stream. So when UNIRock subpoenas my bank statements, he can see who paid who. But I mean, but
even the subpoenas, he actually thought I made those subpoenas up. He was actually running that script that I had made these subpoenas up in Libra, and I'm like, man, that's desperation, man.
But my point is that it's so insane. Because like it's almost like they're painting this case like, oh my gosh, Ben's on Steve's side, and I was like, I'm on my side and Steve's on his side, and our sides happen to align because Kyle committed a fucking felony and he did the wrong.
Yeah. Hey, look, I remember having that conversation with you.
Mic drop. Point closed.
I could sense, and by the way, our communications are now in the court record. Okay, I had given them to the court voluntarily. I didn't have to; it wasn't subpoenaed. But unfortunately, you deleted your Twitter, and so I was like, no, I will give them to you if you need them. So they're the same conversation, obviously. So it didn't really matter. But yeah, I volunteered to do that. But I remember you were outraged when I told you about the rental agreement and the affidavit. You're like, what the hell? You're like, whoa, this mofo.
Well, and that's the thing too. As soon as Ben found out about it, I got a call, and I, also heard the outrage. And our first steps were to contact a friend who was an attorney, who then said that he needed to, get in actual contact, with someone involved in the case and set the record straight that wasn't his signature. And I mean, so and again, if Ben had not have found out that those had been, that his signature had been forged, he would have never even been involved.
So
bottom line.
That's actually really interesting, because what you're telling us is that before Ben contacted Steve, unlike what people have been saying, it was just a fit of rage. I think Colin's deposition says, he was just mad, and I think he regrets going to talk to Steve. You didn't just snap and go talk to Steve. You went and talked to an attorney who then advised you what to do in the legal sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, again, Ben doesn't, Ben doesn't, we are fortunate enough to have several friends that are actually licensed attorneys. And so, yeah, something? In North Carolina. So, do you want to know do you want to know where Kyle really hard screwed the pooch? I'll tell you. Let me read this real quick. Caught a scummer, 2 pounds. When this is all over, can we keep Ben? We're all sharing Ben. Yes, we're all going to keep Ben.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's
going to be our official non sequitur mascot or something. Yes.
If Ben will have us, Huck is non
sequitur. Yeah, we're not good enough for Ben. No, Ben is out of our league. But if he wants to talk to us,
he's out of all of our leagues.
Oh, but Ben's just emotionally damaged right now.
The dude has a rescue pet.
Well, and that's the thing too.
Lover. Nobody wants him.
That's the funny thing about them calling, Ben a scorn lover as well. Was again, I mean, I had started telling Ben to block everything from Kyle. I think back in May or June, and at the end of June was whenever he really did get everything, officially blocked. But I mean, the narrative of him just being scorned and upset, I mean, all absurd. That he was trying to do every single day, it was like, when will this guy just leave me alone? Like, oh my God, I'm ready to move on. There wasn't.
Kyle was sending him texts and things like that and trying to do workarounds to send him messages. But let me tell you where Kyle really screwed the pooch, because I don't know if you're familiar. You may remember this, but in Kyle's deposition, he said that he had an original rental agreement with Ben's ink signature on it, and he was going to present that to the attorney. He failed to do so because he failed to do one. He said he had one and failed to do it. 2, there's testimony of Ben that is not his signature. And 3, there's other forms of alterations on other documents. That is enough for the DA to have indictment for forgery, according to my attorney.
Right.
So he really screwed the pooch by saying that he has something he needed to produce it, because these are all I forget the terms that they use. Well, these are all elements of a crime. Yeah, elements of a crime for forgery. So yeah, he will be probably prosecuted for that.
Well, I mean, I wasn't there for that deposition, but even just reading, the script, like I can tell. Me and Chelsea were talking about this the other day. Like that was a moment where Kyle literally knew he had fucked himself, because. Mm-hmm. Like he had to say that the affidavit was an ink signature, because you can't e-sign an affidavit, and so that was when he was asking for a break, and I'm talking to Scott, like you could tell that he was really put off because he had to go back on what he had done, because he realized that, oh shit, those signatures look just alike, but I have to claim one of them's an ink signature to actually line up with reality, which he doesn't live in. So. It's so bizarre, like the amount of bullshit that he has created.
Hey, real quick, I think we have another caller there too. God, is there a way we could bring that caller in too? Because I really don't want to lose Chelsea and Ben right away unless they have to go. But is there a way we can kind of?
Well, they're here, so they can just Speak up. If your phone
Oh,
number
who's
ends
the
in
caller?
if your phone number ends in 85, please speak
Hello,
up.
can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Ah, okay. Well, I just want to say that my heart beat twice as hard when Shesh read my message over the one of the recent broadcasts. You guys would know me otherwise as I'm Wicked Good.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Hey.
But
Good,
I mean,
good to hear from you.
yeah, Ben, don't plan on going anywhere because you got a lot of people that if you step out, we're going to be more crushed than this whole Kyle thing. By the way, and just in case, I want to throw in hashtag no PK in prison, Kyle, in case you're watching this. So you better have people send the photos of all our Burger King that we're buying because you're going to be opening a GoFundMe for your commissary fund.
Yeah,
but Steve, what I wanted to ask you is really how many people were adult enough when you got rid of everybody on your, you got rid of your block list. How many people were adult enough to come to you, even in the DM, and admit they backed the wrong horse?
It was very few. I did have a couple. I was talking to I think Hanstein answer. He at least realizes that UNIRock is a liar. He finally just couldn't even defend UNIRock any longer. Most people that I've had were basically sideline people, and they weren't kind of actively involved. And I don't really know who they by name. But it wasn't any of the active people that stood behind Uni. I don't think any of them have actually formally apologized to me. Although I've seen some of their things where they go, "Yeah, well, UNIRock lied," but Steve's still a piece of shit. Okay, well, first of all, you didn't even give me any reason. I had one person, they're legit. They're like, "Well, Steve's a piece of crap," and I'm like, "Oh well, tell me why. Maybe I could change because I don't want to wake up in the morning and still be a piece of crap. What do I have to do to not be a piece of crap anymore?" And of course they've got nothing.
That's when they're like, I'm not gonna engage in long dialogue. Like, no, you'd ask for a simple fact.
Just anything. Give me something,
It's a matter of you wake up every morning and you get to decide what flavor you are, and you decided to pick salty.
That's what a lot of Uni's followers are. That's what a lot of Uni's followers are devolved to at the moment. They're just throwing out there that, Steve's a liar and Steve was a jerk. And when, me and I think Intrigued Feline and a few other people are stepping up, going, okay, say it. Where is it? Where did he lie? What did he do? Where did he not admit he was wrong? And then it's crickets. It's just total cricket.
Well, we've been saying that forever. I mean, we actively have gone out and said, please tell us. We've invited people on and said, what do you have for us? I mean, and yet they project these weird things like one of them is like, Steve's such a malignant narcissist. I'm like, I don't think you understand what these terms mean, because if you want to think that I check some of those boxes, tell me what the hell you're referring to, because I've done some massive research on this for Caffeine Corner, and I don't think that I fit any of them. I mean, it's just bizarre. And then you look at somebody like Kyle, who just lies repeatedly, and then has to go on Discord to get this narcissist supply and lie to do it. Who else? We're not doing that. Cheshire and I don't do that. I mean, where are we lying to get a narcissistic supply from?
I thought your slow burn was so classic. When Nate blew up and said, "Oh, it's Steve's fault. He's not giving us all the information." Well, if you gave it to him in a giant box and gave him everything, he would have picked one or two things. But no, you fed him piece by piece, and he slowly just dug himself a hole that it was only Nate at the last minute noticing, this hole is over our head. It's time for me to get out. And finally, when he's way over his head, and when Uni finally realized that he screwed the pooch on himself, now he's going to blame everybody else. But you gave him piece by piece, so he would dig lower and lower and lower all by his lonesome.
I ran that idea by Ruhif before we did it, and I said, hey, Ruhif, let's do it this way, because Ruhif, is predictable. He is predictable, and I was like, this is what he's going to do. I said, so let's put it all out there little by little, and it's all going to be out there anyways. And yet, we're waiting on the actual confirmation, right? We're waiting on the subpoenas to come back, the Discover and the Zell. So we had to wait for those to have absolute conclusive evidence, right? And so we had the touch-up edits, which, by the way, were enough evidence that would convict somebody. They have used that exact sort of evidence to convict people, or to say that things have been altered, right? In the evidence of the Mansford case, I believe it was it Mansford case, or no, it was a Bitcoin case. But I was like, let's do this, and I gotta admit, it worked flawlessly, and not because we made UNIRock do anything. What we did, as Cheshire said, we gave him the tools to come clean and be, aware of things, and he just didn't take it.
Well, and here's the thing, and I guess this is where Ben and I were both naive about this, is obviously after he spoke with you and Red's rhetoric, and whenever I saw that there was, negative things coming out towards Ben, both of us were naive to the fact that, again, neither him nor I have any kind of affiliation with, UNIRock or, you, Steve. And so when we went on, to his Discord, or when I went on to his Twitter to be like, hey, just so you know, you're getting manipulated by somebody who, and I looked at it as, it's not anyone's fault if they'd believed Kyle. When I first met him, I believed a lot of things. I believed that he had his own apartment and had just moved in with his mom, not living there for the past, 4 years or however long he had been living there. I believe that, he told us that, he graduated from, college and all these other stuff, that it was, all fabricated.
Wait. I didn't know this. Wait, he didn't graduate from college?
I don't believe so. I think when you read the deposition, they go in to say that he went to college, but I don't think it said that he completed.
Correct. That's what he said in his deposition.
Yeah,
he said
I did read that.
That's what he said.
Yeah, I didn't really think about that, because I thought he did have a degree, but okay, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
So,
those are just other. Those are just other things that, he had lied to us about. So whenever I went on to UNIRock, it wasn't out of a place of let me prove you wrong. It was out of a place of hey, as an interested person who knows this person firsthand, who's been in my home, you're getting manipulated. And it was coming out of a place of help, not as a place of let me, prove you wrong.
And he can't have that. He can't have a primary source that goes against his narrative. He has to block that.
Well, it was misunderstanding, right? They didn't realize that UNIRock wasn't getting manipulated.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
exactly.
Exactly.
Right. No, exactly.
UNIRock was not being manipulated by Kyle. He was a willing conspirator and complicit, and he was playing along with that BS for views and for donos for vape juice. There's no possible way you were ever going to convince me that UNIRock had any other motive. He knew Kyle was lying. I mean, he had.
Well, no, he needed to be. He needed to be the antagonist. You need to be the antagonist to y'all's side, and so I didn't realize that the goal for him was that. And I mean, I obviously soon found out after every time being like, hey, I promise this and this and this. Hey, this can be proven. And whenever that just got shut down, and it was bizarre. Like I said, it was very bizarre. But I think that's something that both Ben and I naively thought. We didn't realize that the goal for him was to try to spin something, no matter what the truth is, to to his benefit. He didn't. I really thought that's what he does.
Confused. He's a professional LARPer.
Yeah.
I mean, he literally goes. That's what his whole channel is about. Is to try to find something to latch onto, just like a flat earther does. They latch on to the whatever they can find that's a slight abnormality or anomaly that they can run with to say, oh look, this confirms everything else, right? That's just the most bizarre way to look at something. We
actually did an entire episode on Caffeine Corner about how to come to a conclusion and what verifies something, when we were talking about some emails where we were like, listen, this is not good enough. This isn't enough information to decide that this is the only answer. It could be this. You might be right, but you can't demonstrate that with this information. So you've jumped to this conclusion, and you're saying that this is true. Because we had this issue with UNIRock. We did give him all of the information out the gate on things for some time, and he still made shit up, and he still lied. So switching to letting him find out in the exact same way everybody else was finding out showed exactly that he just made shit up.
Yeah, Chelsea, can you turn down your speakerphone a little? Hang on one sec, Chelsea. Can you turn down your speakerphone a little bit, because there's a huge background noise because you're on a speakerphone. And we got. Do you want to read the super chat real quick, Josh, from Mr. President?
Yes, we got a super chat from Mr. President. For 502 days and counting, you should redact the books part. You know this won't happen, right? And he won't pay you. That's why you sue him.
Well, yeah, no, we're going to update that as soon as there's a judgment, and then we'll have a new counter, which should be it could be any time. I'm almost positive that the judge is going to this week probably
get paid. That's what that number.
Yeah,
is.
It's going to be we get paid. Not just like to see the books, but yeah, the judge this. Oh yeah, all the other
firing
people that
with
said
Kyle.
Get paid. Yes,
it's now UNIRock and Nate and them, but it was Jimmy and Casey and
Gleason
and
twins.
GE
Yes,
and KJ.
Yeah, so
and maybe Shannon.
Yeah, we'll change that. Like I said, I'm pretty sure that in the next day or so, the judge will sign the order to have Scotty Lee Forbes' motion to withdraw. I don't see any reason why he would not approve that. And then subsequently, obviously, Kyle's motion is going to get dismissed. The only person that thinks that it won't is Beatty right now. Or he doesn't make even a comment on it. He doesn't know either way. He's like, I could go. Either the judge will or he won't. It's like, you're a brainchild. There's zero chance of Kyle's motion going through. There's absolutely zero chance. I will bet anything people want. It's And by the way, I have one bet out there. There's a bet, but it's with Peter Riley. It's $100 that Kyle will be indicted by January 31st, 2022. Because I think that he will, and it's only $100. It's a gentleman's bet. Word of honor. And I trust him. If he and he trusts me. I mean, if I don't pay him, if I lose, I have a hell of a lot of people on my ass. So we don't have to have a third party for that or for $100.
No, I think if Steve loses, I'm pretty sure all of us will just be laughing at him.
Oh, that's true. That's true. But no, that's fine. No, like I said, I think he'll be indicted by January 31st, 2022. I think it'll be even before then. But yeah, it's $100, right? So, all right. So, what else we got?
There's a lot.
There's
the
a
thing
lot.
is
Yeah.
I got one.
Yeah.
I would just like to go on the record and say, Kyle had a way of getting under my skin from day one. He, and that's one of the ways that he would try to manipulate me and stuff like that. But one of the moments in my entire history that I could not despise him anymore was when he was on UNIRock's channel, making light of him being a good guy by sending me flowers. No words to describe that. I'm going to dig those dead flowers out of my trash can and send them to him if he does go to prison.
It was bizarre when he was on UNIRock saying, oh, well, I sent him flowers and I'm the bad guy. And I'm like, do you understand when you send flowers to somebody that you abuse and that you threatened and that doesn't want to have anything to do with you, that's having a restraining order against you? That is nothing to be proud of. I was sure that
if you are not on good terms and you're not speaking with somebody, it is not appropriate for you to be sending them messages or sending them money or sending them flowers.
And to be clear too, this was beyond not speaking. This was when these flowers came. This was beyond them not speaking. This is whenever he had resorted to sending dollar Venmos and dollar PayPals just so he could write a message to them because he had blocked them literally on everything. And so it wasn't like they just gotten into a fight and then he sent his flowers to try to make up. I mean, this had been after about 5 weeks of being blocked on literally everything. No communication.
Yeah, when you tell somebody you don't want them to contact you tell somebody that you look, don't contact me. It is harassment. I want nothing to do with you. Stay away. There are people that just do not get the hint. Well, look, we've had people do this for us for 3 years now.
I've been in bad before. I've been in just depressive states over these sorts of situations. But at no point could you have some self-respect maybe and don't be so pathetic and so desperate as to have to send money to somebody as some kind of desperate plea to get their attention so you can emotionally manipulate them and abuse them further.
And I don't know.
Wait, Chelsea, you're gonna have to mute when Chelsea is talking, or I'm talking. You have to mute because your speakerphone is just having all this bad audio background noise and make it difficult for anybody to hear because it just the audio is too low for their voice. There we go. So I can tell you turn it off. So, but now go ahead. So just when you're talking, unmute, and then when you're done talking, mute, if that's okay.
Yeah. So one thing that I don't think was uploaded in all the dockets were just all the threats that were made. I need to go back through and look, but I mean, just even the amount of harassing threats, to Ben that were made from Kyle. I don't think all those ended up getting uploaded even in as evidence. And that's something that me and Ben are gonna, work on getting together a timeline on of just how extreme they went to threatening his family, threatening his dog, threatening him personally, threatening his workplace. I mean, it was extraordinary, and it was very, very scary. And all of this, was happening even before the court stuff. And then afterwards, all the threats that were made to him about not getting involved and, to back out and everything. I mean, it's a lot. And I don't think even all that was, made public. I think it was just to the extent of that one email that was uploaded in the court documents. But
so let's make this very clear. He actually threatened Ben not to get involved in this because he knew that if Ben did, Ben would probably learn things, and that would destroy what Kyle had submitted to the court, because Kyle knew that he lied about all this stuff. He forged all this stuff. He altered all the evidence, and he knew that if Ben got involved, that could possibly probably come out.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, I mean, there's threats before, and then there was plenty of threats after. I mean,
right.
Shit. I mean, Ben even screenshotted a Snapchat that was sent the day before the hearing. So, I mean, there's just been an exuberant amount of stuff.
So let's make it very clear why we have Ben here. Ben.
If I may, got a super chat.
Got a background noise. Yeah, go ahead and super chat.
Golden Unicorn for 5 says, so Jason / UNIRock was encouraging and promoting an abuser and a stalker. You don't say. And Steve,
shocker.
I just want to repeat what I had said before because a lot of people couldn't hear it.
Yeah, sure. That sounds good, actually.
Exactly. It was completely disgusting.
Actually, I forgot what I was going to add to that. So Ben, let's get this on record. Kyle has actually legit threatened, abused, and emotionally manipulated you, and you have made it very clear to him, do not contact you, do not have anything to do with you, and he keeps on trying to contact you. That, to me, is a form of harassment, and yet a lot of people out there that have supported Kyle have not seemed to say anything about that for some strange reason. I find that to be very odd. They'll claim that, I'm some kind of abuser, I'm some kind of harasser, yet I don't contact anybody that doesn't want to be contacted. I don't contact them directly. No. Will I comment on things that they do if I think they put out some misinformation? Yes, welcome to YouTube. But I don't contact them.
Well, that's the thing too. It's even with me, one of the things that I knew all along about. I mean, Kyle threatened me over the years' time, multiple times. He would say the most inhumane, just off base, disgusting harassments towards me. Whenever I would call him basically out on his shit. But one of the things that I thought about that was that it was because he was a narcissist and he thought I was his victim. And so he did not like whenever, he would always keep it in hidden. So whenever I saw the forged documents, I was like, this is something that's like it was just not out in the realms of the harassment that I was experiencing because it's something that's public. And I'm just like, it just took it to a whole nother level.
It's weird because he projects that on other people. We all know he's a narcissist. That's a confirmed thing. I mean, I'm sorry. Anybody who just looks at that will tell you that he has all the attributes of a narcissist, and yet he tries to put that on other people. Everything that he was doing, he tried to say Steve forged stuff, Steve altered stuff, Steve's a narcissist. It's like it's the most blatant form of projection I think I've ever seen in my entire life. And I think we have another caller, but Joshar, you wanted to repeat what you had said because there was some background noise, and then we'll bring in this other caller.
Yeah. Like there are times in people's lives where they make silly mistakes, or they get drunk, or they get upset, or they're in relationships where things go south, and they want to speak with that person. At no point, and like I've been there. At no point have I ever gotten to the point where I needed to send money to somebody to try to get their attention. Have a little bit of self-respect and understand that no means no. To be so desperate, and so pathetic to the point where you have to send money to someone so you can try to manipulate them emotionally, or is their only way to contact them, just don't. Stop. If you've ever done that in the past, you need to self-reflect seriously and reconsider your position on things, because that is not okay. You don't do shit like that.
Yeah, and a point of order on that is that I want people going forward that if Kyle ever tries to come back to the YouTube to get his narcissistic fixed, people do not let him forget about the harassment of Ben. If anything's takeaway, that I think is one of the biggest takeaways, is he is a actual abuser in a relationship, emotionally abusing Ben, who still tries to contact him. And I told Ben I will have his back. I told Ben I will publicize this as much as or little as he wants, because at the beginning I didn't make a big thing about this because it was private communications with Ben, and it's personal stuff, right? But I was telling Ben, I was like, look, this is something that people may want to know about, because he tries coming back. People need to know what they're dealing with now. We know the Kyle that they know now. We see it. Yeah, we were all fooled by it. I'm not going to say that I wasn't. I did not know Kyle had these traits when I first met him. Clearly not. But over time, we figured it out. Bulletiner, myself, Red's Rhetoric, we learned, right? We're not like those people that don't learn from things, and that's why we confronted him. But there's still people out there that probably won't learn, but maybe watching this kind of stuff, and maybe they're hearing directly from Ben, will recognize that, yes, Kyle is a manipulative, narcissistic, pathological liar.
Well, there's also situations where you'll have, if you recall, there were other people that were hosts on Non Sequitur that cared about the show, apparently, that cared about it and wanted things to do well, and said that the right things should be happening. And those people have been silent after they told everybody, all of the Non Sequitur fans, to go fuck themselves. So Absolutely. You've got this situation where Kyle is at the point where these people were, and some of them still are friends, according to the deposition, with Kyle currently. So if those people are still in contact with Kyle, and they're ignoring what is going on with Ben here, sorry, you're shit people. Sorry, you're not humanists. Sorry, you don't care about people who are being abused. You pick and choose, and you're nitpicking because he's your friend. Fuck you for being friends with somebody who does this kind of shit. What's wrong with you?
It is pretty sad that none of them stood up for Ben. None of them.
Not a single one of them have come out to say
and some of them. And worse, you have people like UNIRock that was trying to re-victimize him. Like legit re-victimize Ben, make him out to be the bad guy, make him out to be the jealous ex-lover, and to make him relive this crap.
Anybody could come into this blind and look at the way Ben is behaving and look at the way Kyle is behaving, and you tell me who's acting like a scorned lover.
Yep. Do we have a super chat or we have? Okay. Yeah, okay, so we got somebody else on the line too, and then Thoughts by Jay Brown put my Patreon up there. Appreciate that, actually, Thoughts by Jay Brown. So if you want to support the channel, I have Patreon, and you can become a member of the channel, and if you want to go to art stuff and cool reads by Goblin, Cheslar's got her Patreon and her membership as well.
Oh,
so hook us both up kind of thing. Right now, Ben doesn't have a channel yet, but I told him that the best revenge for him would be get a successful YouTube channel, and that would drive Kyle ape shit, wouldn't it? I told I don't know what the hell he would do. I have no idea. But
we've joked about how much that would just get under his skin.
Absolutely, it would hugely. Absolutely would. All right. So who's the other caller we got? God.
Get successful reviewing Burger Kings.
Whopper reviews.
The caller ID is not working. Other than I know that this number ends in 39.
I'll just write a documentary and then send a copy to him whenever he's in prison, and along
give him
with the
something
royalty.
to watch or read. Yes,
Guys,
rodent.
guys,
Yeah, read that.
what Ben needs to do? He needs to do an amateur cooking show.
Oh,
Oh,
I think
amateur.
Ben, you cook, right?
Yes, I do. I love to cook.
Yeah.
That would be a perfect.
Right,
Good one, Chesh.
There you go, Ben and
Well,
Chesh. There you go.
what's
Cooking
that?
stuff together. I'd be
What's
envious
that?
because I wanted to do something with Ben, but no, I think that'd be brilliant. Chesh and Ben doing cooking stuff together. That would be like the ultimate. We got a super chat. Let's get to the caller. Chesh, can you read the super chat?
Super chat is from Rodent42 says, I never send money to get attention. Oh crap, smiley face.
Rodent got attention. Thank you, Rodent. We appreciate it. So, all right. So, who's this caller?
Well,
Intellectual iconoclasm.
Hey,
hi.
intellectual. What's up, buddy?
Hey. Oh, and for short, just call me Ike. That's kind of my moniker these days. First for Ben. Dude, the pair on you. I have so much respect. I know how hard it is to be heterosexually disinclined in the South and to shoulder the crap storm that will inevitably come your way in some form or another because this is the right ethical thing to do. Man, you're making me swoon. I almost want to be your boy, you know? You're amazing. Just so much respect.
Well, thank you for that. I mean, that means a lot. And the thing is like I just take it as a learning experience. The reality is I never wanted any of this. I literally wanted Kyle to leave me alone. And it's really just ironic because I'll happily wonder if he didn't continue sending me messages or trying to find ways to communicate with me as a deflection, hoping that I wouldn't find out of the felonies that he committed with this whole situation. But the truth is it actually ended up fucking himself, because if he would have just done what I said and leave me alone, we wouldn't be here right now. And I mean, in a way, I'm glad. I mean, I am glad because it gets justice for Steve. It gets justice for all these people that supported him and supported a cause that was totally based on fraudulent purposes. But it's just funny that, like, he literally created this scenario that's taking him down.
It's a Greek tragedy, man. It's an absolute Greek tragedy.
And the funniest part is, and a few people still haven't grasped this yet, it did not matter where Kyle lived as per Rule 4 North Carolina General Statutes. It made no difference. The judge was very clear on this. Kyle literally created this concocted story for nothing. He's going to go to prison for nothing.
Well, that's another segue that I have, which is, so, my other segue is, I'm pretty sure, like everybody else, he got this idea from Nate. Do we even know if Nate's actually a lawyer? Because my wife and I have been searching high and low, and we can't find mention of him anywhere in the country practicing law.
I have his bar ID number. He is a real lawyer in New York, yes. I know exactly who he is. I will testify. I'm not going to give out his personal information. I will testify that I've seen his real bar information. He is a legit lawyer. I will say that.
Okay, are we?
I've never shown it to Chesh, but she can believe me or disbelieve me. But I know who Nate is, and he is actually a real lawyer. That I will tell you. Now, is he a very good
lawyer?
Cool.
I created a little bit of
it. Well, but my next two questions are: was he giving legal advice to Kyle without being a contracted lawyer? Was he giving advice to Kyle in a jurisdiction where he doesn't know the local laws? Blah, blah, blah. And my last question, are Uni and Kyle and Nate up for harassment and or tortious interference? Because I would love to see those fuckers burn. Pardon the language.
That would be up to the DA, would it not?
Yeah, so there's a couple things that what you just said. First, that we don't know if Kyle's going to throw anybody else under the bus. Now, Uni has already started throwing Nate under the bus, threw Kyle under the bus, which I said was going to happen.
Kyle already actually named Nate in his deposition.
Yeah, he did name Nate, and he named some other people, I think, but specifically named Nate. I don't think anything's going to happen there, to be honest with you. Do I think there are some ethical considerations? Absolutely. Did I say from the very beginning? Remember at the very beginning of all this, I said that he was going to Nate for advice, and people were like, "Oh, well, Steve's saying Nate's his attorney," and it was just basically a flippant comment that I made. Yeah, his attorney's Nate, as in like he's going to him for legal advice. I knew obviously he couldn't practice in North Carolina. He's a New York lawyer, right? But there was a big fluffle of that with Agrippa. Oh, Steve is saying Nate's his lawyer. Nate's, saying he is a bluff. I'm like, no, don't be an idiot. What I thought from the very beginning, and I still believe this to this day.
Idiot. Look.
Yeah, I mean, I had reason to believe that from the beginning that Kyle was getting information, getting advice from Nate. Does people disbelieve me now on that? Because I think the evidence is overwhelming that there probably was the case. I had reasons to believe this. Was I right or wrong? We may never know, but I definitely was justified to have that belief. I think people have, and I think people can probably see that he did. Now, is it torturous interference? No, I don't think it is.
I created a kind of a shitstorm on Twitter a few days ago because I made the comment that Nate helped Kyle concoct his motion to set aside, which was absolutely true. And I never accused Nate of helping abate him in forgery because I don't know that. But I absolutely know that Nate was giving him advice whenever he was representing himself, because he was at my house part of the time when he was doing it. It's actually the day that he went to go get
let's also
notarized.
look at
I drove him to do that.
Yeah.
And it was after speaking with Nate for hours.
Let's look at Nate producing a video.
Oh yeah. Once again, let me rephrase. I drove him to get notarized the motion to set aside that he had created in whatever. I didn't even know what it was. He was like, can you go drive me to the notary? So let me be clear. It was not anything that I had signed or I knew anything about.
Right, okay, that's fine. And yeah, like I said, we knew that Nate was probably helping him for that legal stuff. That's kind of obvious. And even the judge recognized that, hey, he was getting legal counsel from somebody. Now, whether that's an ethical issue because he actually is a practicing lawyer, and was he practicing a law out from an out of state is a legal thing, but that's not up to me. That would be if Kyle throws Nate under the bus, Nate could be facing some disciplinary action with the bar on that, possibly. I don't know that well enough to actually weigh in on that. Maybe OPT lawyer could, but if he didn't do anything as legal advice, then probably not. But I don't know how much helping him write that would be constitutive of an ethical thing if he's not actually practicing or giving him legal advice. I don't know. But we got some super chats. Can we get them out of the way? Because this is a really good one.
Yeah, Exploratory Minds Projects Pursue said, call the cooking show Tastecraft. Yeah, of course.
I love that idea.
Comic Nut for $5. Didn't say anything.
Thank you, Comic Nut. You're awesome, Comic Nut.
And then Comic Nut again for 2 said, I would fly the States and help set up production. Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, he does come to the States, so that's probably true.
And Comic Nut for 2 said, call it Cooking with Pots. That's also really good, too.
That's also really good. Yeah, because I'm smart people. That's actually good. Cooking with Pots. Dude, wow. I hate when somebody has a really good idea and you go, why didn't we think of that? That's like brilliant.
We're also getting asked if Steve, can you ask Steve if he will ever sing live again like he did when he and Reds were on the Ben Pie channel? I would like to point out that I've been trying to convince them to do a karaoke night, because that would be amazing. I want that. Although setting that up is a little bit niggly. Go ahead, go for it.
Sorry, sir. One thing I did want to, oh, go ahead.
I'll just say, I will maybe sing the day that we get our judgment, and I can pop over and open this. This is
one thing too, just to point out, again, if anyone has any questions into what motivated Ben on getting involved, was whenever he found out that his signature had been forged, and whenever we sat down with our friends here that are attorneys, they went through with him and they explained that, now that he's aware that his signature is forged, that it's in his best interest to, come forward and make, assert those claims, because more than likely they were like, you're going to get potentially subpoenaed to come to court and testify, since for one, they weren't notarized and they weren't, done in the appropriate way. And from the legal advice and just talking it through with our friends before he, really decided to go full-fledged and get everything, notarized and give his statement to you all. In looking out for his own best interest, they're like, once you are aware that, these documents had been forged in a legal manner, you need to go ahead and correct the wrongdoing that has happened. And that advice was given to Ben by licensed North Carolina attorneys. They do not practice business law, but they do practice criminal law. And they're like, if you're aware that, there's a statement being claimed that you did not claim, or, a affidavit that you didn't sign, or a lease document, they're like, you need to get ahead of it before you do end up getting subpoenaed. And if it's known that you were aware of it but didn't do anything about it, in a way that makes you complicit. And so whenever he was, found out about it, made aware, that's the reason he took the steps that he did. Even initially he was still hesitant of getting involved, not because he didn't want to make it right, but because of the potential backlash. It was very scary for Ben to do what he did, already with the harassment he was receiving, from Kyle, but, amplify that to the entire internet. It wasn't something that he, did lightly, or, wanted to really get, involved in. It was a hard decision, but, ultimately it was the right decision. And upon independent legal counsel, not your guys' attorney, and not somebody that was hired, to give them legal counsel, but someone that is knowledgeable. They were the ones that, kind of helped guide that decision.
It was great, yeah, very good advice. No, I think that's very, very good advice, and I'm glad that Ben took it. And what is Cheshire doing? This is not your OnlyFans. Stop it.
This is my UNIRock cosplay. I'm just missing the hat.
Oh, that okay. That's if you had the hat, that would actually work. You know what? Now I know what you should go for Halloween. You should dress up like UNIRock and go wandering around the neighborhood talking about silverfish and having neighbors come out and kind of sing it off the property.
Did you guys see that? That there's literally somebody that was that.
I think you pointed out to me. I have not listened to it yet.
It was hilarious.
I did not hear it. I probably will, but I had people message me on it, and I'm like, oh man, I guess get off my lawn, you little whippersnapper.
Yeah, I need a hat. I don't have a hat. I'll see if I can work something out by Halloween for that time of the month.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
What's the chance that after this all comes down on Kyle and he goes to prison and gets the monetary, the monetary verdict? I don't know if Kyle can, but I know I've mentioned this on Twitter before. What's the chance that Kyle, when let's say he has to owe you $100,000, that because he's going to get these lawyers for free in prison, he's going to go after like Nate and Uni and all these other people because he's not going to want to pay that money because he can't. But I think he's just such a vindictive little child. Huh?
Do you actually think? Okay, first, he's broke. I mean, I don't know what he spent the money on. I could guess, but I don't know. But the fact remains,
you can't see my jaw moving in Charn, can you?
He doesn't have a lot to piss on. He can rally against me all he wants, but I'm in much better shape than he ever has been right now.
I think he's just such a vindictive little jackass that he's going to try.
So do you think that he actually is going to throw Nate under the bus? And what is he going to do to UNIRock? I mean, UNIRock has already thrown himself under the bus. I mean, the guy's a farce. Nobody is going to take UNIRock seriously except for the handful of two people, maybe, that at most just don't care that he's lying to them. Whatever. We're not interested in those people. They let him do their own shtick over on his channel. But do you think that he might throw Nate under the bus? Because I know UNIRock already tried, and I don't know, because since the fact that Nate is a real lawyer, I don't know the legal ramifications for that. Now, again, let me make it very clear. I don't think for a second that Nate helped him do any kind of forgery or any kind of falsifications of anything. No, I don't think Nate know anything about that. I think let me phrase that. I think that of course he knew Kyle did after we showed people, right? I mean, but I don't think he had any inside knowledge, and I definitely don't think he helped him with any of that. But he still
he'll probably throw Nate under the bus, but I don't think Nate's going to bite because he wants to stay away from all this now. Now that he's seen the direction that it's gone, Nate's not going to want to jump back in this pool.
Oh, I think you're exactly right on that.
Well, I think he's definitely going to want to jump in the pool if he sees an opportunity that's not going to screw himself. But if Kyle does throw him under the bus, I don't think it will be a matter of necessarily the court of public opinion where that throwing will be happening. I could see Kyle breaking under the pressure of the DA office and potentially naming Nate there. Whether or not that's true or what he ends up saying is accurate, it doesn't mean he wouldn't make the attempt to try and get him out, a jail-free card, or to keep him out of prison by trying to point fingers at someone else, whether or not it's the truth.
Right. I mean, look, if you said, look, I have this lawyer and he was, giving me legal advice out of jurisdiction, blah, 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 the DA might actually, go, maybe he'll give you a little break on this because, you had a lawyer that you trusted. I mean, Kyle could run this huge narrative, right? Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen.
There's no reason to suspect that he wouldn't do that to the DA also. He already tried, right? So why would
look,
what reason would
Kyle
try?
Kyle will lie. Kyle will still lie to this day. He's not going to stop lying. That's just not going to be reality. He will continue to lie. He's been caught red-handed. It doesn't matter. Ben knows this firsthand. When you're a narcissist and you're dead to rights, you will still continue to lie. It doesn't matter to them. So, yeah. Right. Do I think that he would to the DA? Yeah, absolutely. Lying in a deposition was one of the dumbest things. He doesn't even know how bad he screwed himself on that. And that's what the judge wanted. The judge was, why are we going, hey, this guy lies under a deposition. I'm going to nail his ass to the wall. Because it's more than just filing a false statement. That's only a Class I felony in North Carolina. So on the affidavit, they probably would go after him for just filing a false statement. But in a deposition where there's multiple witnesses and you're sworn under oath, that is full on Class F felony. So that's what the judge was going for. Yeah,
and like I said, this is a matter about whether or not Kyle would make the attempt, not whether or not he would succeed, or whether or not he would be truthful in doing so. So I could see him definitely making that attempt.
Yeah. I don't think. I'm not saying that that'd be the true story either, right? I'm not saying because again, I know Nate didn't do anything illegal. Unethical is a completely different question, obviously.
Oh, you don't think he did?
I don't think he did anything illegal. Nate is a lot of things, but he's not that stupid. He's not going to do something illegal. He knows better than that. But will he do something unethical? Well, that's a given. That's obviously demonstrated time and time again.
My reasons why that I may have that opinion.
Yeah. Well, you can. Look. We may or may not agree on that, and only time will tell. But I will say that I won't put anything off the table. How about that? So anyways, what other questions you got? Did that answer your question, Ike? Because I as for like tortures interference, I don't think there's anything of that nature. I don't think anything's going to happen to Nate or any of them. There's just no legal ramifications. But I think in the public opinion and the fact that we know now,
there may be decent grounds for defamation per se, potentially, but I don't know. That's something that's going to be pursued.
Defamation per se would be stuff that on his
face. Harassing the lawyer. I think that would probably.
That's not defamation per se, though. That would be considered to be defamatory. But defamation per se are very specific things. Like if I say that you had a narrow disease or something that you don't have, that's defamational per se. But yeah. So there's very, very specific things for per se, because you don't have to prove them in court.
I think it's important too that I'm sure, I guess because of y'all's past stuff with different YouTubers or this or that, it's easy to try to bring in other people, but I think it is really important to notate that all of this is ultimately Kyle and his fault, exclusively and only. And, anyone that may have been trying to help, they didn't have the full story. I don't think anybody knew the extent that Kyle was willing to go to try to prove a lie as fact. And so I think that, you know, deterring or looking at other people to blame or potentially get involved, you know, is kind of missing the point. I mean, Kyle, you know, I think, you know, all parties aside from UNIRock, because he's just a complete joke. But I mean, I think anyone else that was going to Kyle and trying to give him assistance was receiving a false narrative, and the advice that they were given, you know, you can't give full legal advice as an attorney if you don't know the truth. And so, you know, I don't really think that looking at, you know, Nate or whoever, you know, else was, you know, involved in Kyle's stuff is really, you know, a fair full picture. At the end of the day, Kyle, you know, even as much as Kyle had lied and manipulated and had, you know, forged fake plane tickets in Ben's relationship and done other things to try to prove a point, I don't think anybody was fully prepared to find out that he would fake the exuberant amount of evidence that he did fake and submit it to a court. I mean,
I didn't. I said, hey, look, this is over with the default judgment, right? And I said the only way, you know, Kyle would ever be able to set that aside is if he did something like really stupid and lied to the court. But of course, I'm like, is he that desperate? I really would have no idea back then that was he would have done something this insanely stupid.
And
that wasn't on my radar.
Tastecraft, people were still trying. Dude, Kyle, I get it. You've made a mistake. Just make it right, and everything will be all good.
I gave him every opportunity. My advice was sound from the very beginning. I don't give people bad advice, even people I dislike, because the reason, if they don't take it, I can go back and say, hey, look, I'm going to rub it in the fact I gave you good advice. I've given Kyle good advice from the very beginning. From the very beginning, there's nothing that I think that I gave him that was bad advice. He didn't take any of it.
No, I gave Kyle good advice back in. I mean, I gave Kyle good advice back in January and February in regards to the case, and asked him if he needed, you know, I have an aunt who's a judge who is licensed actually here in North Carolina. And I was like, you know, would you like me to, you know, have her take a look at things? Would you like me to, you know, and he very much, you know, didn't need it. But I mean, I think he knew that at that point in February, he knew that if anyone that we knew took a look at anything, they would have seen Ben's signature. And I think that is a big proponent on why his fake signature, forged signature, let me make sure I'm clear, they would have seen Ben's forged signature, and that would have, you know, the ruse would have been up at that point. And, you know, I think that's why he adamantly, despite having resources offered to him, it does, because I could not for the life of me understand why he wouldn't, you know, take advantage of these resources that I was offering to him, as, I mean, willingly, but not happily, but willingly, because I truly care about Ben and, you know, try to give people the benefit of the doubt. But I mean, yeah, I mean, he, you know, had sound advice, you know, for me, and had the resources to get other people, you know, involved that could have, you know, really helped if he wanted, but that would have came at the cost of, you know, Ben finding out and all of us finding out that he had forged his signature on the affidavit. And at that point, that couldn't, you know, he couldn't, you know, take advantage of that.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing.
So, I mean, but I mean, yeah,
story. Like, for example, like the stuff that we've been saying from the very beginning, which has obviously been extremely true, and people are finding that out the hard way nowadays. But when you have people lying consistently, after you find out what is actually true, and you look back and you go, man, that's the reason, you know, that's the lie. That's something that makes sense. Why they didn't do this, or why they didn't do that, or why they did something. It all has it just falls into place like a jigsaw puzzle. Right. And that makes a lot of sense. He didn't want, obviously, an expert to be looking at any of this stuff, because guess what? They would have seen, hey, there's a rental agreement with Ben's signature on it. Hey, Ben, did you sign this? No, I didn't. Oh, there's a problem. People don't know who you are
Absolutely.
still. So just remind people,
Absolutely.
Chelsea was named in the depositions. I've been talking to her for quite some time, and December, I think it's December 6th, the same day Ben contacted me. I think maybe about the time I was introduced to you, and you verified everything that we've been saying. You were helping Kyle find a place to live. You had verified to me directly Kyle never lived with Ben. That was a concocted story that he came up with after the default judgment, just like Ben said. And so, like I said, there was consilience between what you were telling me as an objective third party that knew Ben, what Ben was telling me, what I knew to be from my reality, and all of them coincided with each other.
This is also
Absolutely. And I
my
mean,
first
and
But what?
oh
So
yeah,
what,
absolutely. Oh.
Yeah, Chester's trying to talk. She's a Canadian. She has this weird lag on her computer.
I just said it's this is my first time talking to Chelsea.
Yes, this is your. That's right. You two have never met. I didn't want Chelsea to be in the limelight per se, but she was named in the depot.
I'm a very private. Yeah, I'm a very very private person. So, and Ben typically
do I not
is
keep
too.
that way,
Unfortunately,
what people tell me, I compartmentalize very well. I think.
Yeah.
I try to at least.
Yeah, no, I have mostly only been in contact with Steve. Obviously, I'm in contact with Ben as he's we work together quite a bit, and we've been friends for about 5 years. So but most of my contact was either directly with you, Steve, or directly with y'all's attorney, not not on online. I love privacy. So I try to stay, typically as private as possible. And to that point, I think that, if anybody's, has question, with any of the stuff that I'm even saying now, I say it now more or less because it is the truth, but I'm not trying to get any kind of views or notoriety. I mean, I don't have any other motive other than the fact that it's the truth.
Yeah. No, and I know that. And then, like I said, I never brought you up. I did mention, I had talked to a friend of Ben's, but again, I don't put out information if people don't want it out. And I kept you isolated from that. But unfortunately, of course, they were mentioning you, and you at least want to talk about it. But yeah, you have no dog in this fight. You're not a YouTuber. You're not anybody that wants to be on social media that much. For personally, I know that you do social media for work stuff, but yeah, I totally respect that. And other people will as well. Trust me. I think that if anybody was trying to go after you, it'd be a silly move, and I doubt that will happen now at this point.
It definitely would be very, very silly.
Yeah,
very silly.
I think you have connections that people, if they knew, would probably be very scared of.
I was like, I have connections and funds to. I was like, if anybody tries to do anything, I do have lots of attorney friends and money to pay for stuff. So, I mean, that's not a threat. Please don't anyone test me on it. But I was like, I mean, I would be well equipped to handle it.
Yeah, no, I learned that. I figured that out about you quite early. I was like, this person has it together. They're not somebody anybody would want to screw with. There are some people
you just don't mess with.
Just sorry, you want to read the super chat?
Yeah, Ronnie for 2 said for never giving up.
Thank you, Ronnie. Long time, Ronnie. Ronnie has been a long supporter for this channel.
It has been a trip, though. We're not done yet, and it's been a trip.
Yes. Well, it's not done, but it is. I think all downhill from here. The dominoes are falling.
Oh, absolutely.
And there will be reverberations.
There was a while there where we did not have consistent movement from the court. Then it was really frustrating for a time there, and it was a drag, for lack of a better word. And so now I'm happy with just having consistent movement.
Yeah, I agree. It is still slow churning, but we already know, like I said, we know how this ends. It's just no other way I can see this playing out. The only thing that I don't have a opinion on per se is if Kyle's going to try to run or not. He might try to go to California. I think he was telling Ben that he's planning on going to California, if I remember correctly. But if he did, that would be a very silly move. I'll give him advice. Go ahead, do it. That will result in federal charges and extradite back to North Carolina. And we know where he'll be, and we'll find out
in our future.
What's that, Josh?
I said I'm still holding out that there's going to be a ticket to Mexico in our future.
Well, how would he survive in a foreign country? How would he survive? I mean, he doesn't
I
have the
don't
means for
care.
that.
That's his problem. I just want to see the stupid
No, but
ticket.
he thinks he might think going to California to be with his brother because his brother, is kind of well off, at least, and he might think that will, alleviate the charges. That doesn't work that way. We will find him. We already got more information than we need. He's not going anywhere. I mean, let's say that he does. Let's say that he does actually flee to California. He's still not going.
I mean, he could try.
Right?
Yeah, there's a
Yeah, he
difference
could try.
between like me saying I want to see that ticket to Mexico isn't him actually succeeding in getting to Mexico. It's just the attempt. I'm holding out hope, man.
He's
I want to
practicing
see
his
it.
Spanish. Actually, like I said, I don't know if he's going to attempt that or not. I don't think he's going to show this contempt hearing though. As of right now, I don't think he's going to show.
Yeah, fair. Godless Scummer for 5 says, I'm very disappointed because Nathan Thompson is my horse in this race for dumb fuck of the year. However, I feel as if Kyle and Uni have him beat now. Sad face.
Sorry, Jeff. Thompson is a worthy contender. Don't get me wrong, but I think it's going to be a showdown between Kyle and Uni. And you know what? I got to tell you, as much as I like to see Kyle win, I might actually just back Uni on this year. I don't know, man. I don't. It's hard. It really is. This is like the toughest decision of who's more deserving. And I'd love to have discussions on it, which we will have on Red's channel, of who's the most deserving of it. But right now, if we're just talking about like straight up dumb fuckery, Uni wins kind of hands down in many ways, right? But we'll see. All right. So anyways, we are getting at the 2-hour mark, and I know God is probably, if not falling asleep, is ready to call it a day, I'm sure. But if there's any last-minute callers, getting in now. But Ike, I wanted to thank you. Again, you're a longtime supporter of the channel and from the Non Sequitur show. And I'm just happy that we were able to show people that we've been telling the truth. And I'm glad that it came out. Finally, it was a hell of a freaking journey. And I think there's still more to be had.
Ben, a picture of Murphy.
What?
I have to send goblin? Ben a picture of Murphy. He's I made a goblin bard, and he is for D&D, and he's a goblin who's a bard, which isn't really a thing. So he's proficient in percussion, and so he has a wooden spoon and a pot that he wears on his head that he plays for his music to cast spells.
I don't know if Ben plays any of that stuff. I don't know if Ben's still on the line.
I don't know if they're still there either. There's only one other. There's 3, but I only see 2 people on the call, and that's me and someone whose number ends in 85.
That's me. That's me. That's I'm Wicked Good.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm Wicked. Oh yeah, I'm Wicked Good still there. But all right, so let's kind of wrap it up. We're getting last minute questions. If not, please like, subscribe, join membership benefits, Patreon, all that stuff that I don't really hawk that much that I should because I suck at it. And also Cheshire's channel. She's got something coming up. I think scheduled actually. Don't you have a read scheduled or something?
Oh, we have that time of the month scheduled.
Yeah, what is that?
We're talking
the 20.
We're talking about relationships, the best kind of relationships. That'll be fun.
You know what? I wish I had a uterus. I would actually sit in for that one because I've had some relationships.
But... It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good time. I'll put the link in the chat for anybody interested.
And if you guys noticed, we are trying to get back to some kind of sense of normality on this channel. Obviously, we had a Young Earth Creationist on the other night. I'll hopefully make it back to my math stuff, just some philosophy stuff. I've been talking to Jenna Ball. What is her last name? Ball? Jenna from the Atheist Experience. She's been talking about joining us for a while. And I got some other people that I think may be of interest to people. I was kind of saving a lot of people, obviously, for the Non Sequitur show, but I think there's enough to go around. We're not going to run out of guests. I can tell you that right here now. That's not going to happen. But I want to start talking about stuff that I like talking about. And I thought that the last night with Cheshire and Dapper Dino and Jackson Wheat reminded me of the old days, reminded me of the stuff that we did and wanted to have this channel for originally. And I know a lot of this, people consider to be drama, and I get that, I really do. But it's only because we have to fill people in because they've stuck with us for so long. I mean, people like Ike and Ronnie and a whole bunch of other people. They've been longtime fans.
I have an entire list of people who are patrons of mine that have been basically helping me stay afloat this entire time, and I appreciate the heck out of it. I really do.
Yep.
We got
two super chats. Inkboy said, happy to send a super chat from this account finally. Finally, I caught up to live part of the live stream. Oh, they were behind. Caught up. Damn you, switching time by hour. Comic Nut for Tuesday. Kyle just called me and wants to come to Honduras.
hey, did you want to move in with you?
Make sure you get payment for rent up front. Paul says, any word on the CPA information to mention last week?
Oh, that's a good question. Yes, that person has actually gone through Agrippa's financials and made some footnotes. Nothing too extraordinary, nothing out of the ordinary that we would expect. Other, I mean, we know they're crap. I mean, so everything, all her annotations, what we would expect. I mean, it's just she's like, this is just bullshit. This is where's the invoicing for this? Where's the receipts for this? But yeah, she might be on sometime in the near future. Yeah, so she is a real CPA or real accountant. I don't know if she's a full-on CPA, but I know she's an accountant. But he approached her to do the books ages ago, and she said no. And I don't think it's any big secret to let you know why, is that he borrowed some money from her and never paid it back, several thousands of dollars. And so she's like, you're out of your mind. You owe me money and you want me to do these books for free and all that stuff. And so, I mean, he has a long history of scamming people. This is not the first time that he has done this with people, I guess. And that's why I said there's more to the story. But yeah, that person will be coming on telling that side of the story. Now, again, I haven't checked the veracity of all that because I don't know this person, but it seems to fall in line from what I remember when Kyle was telling me that he had a CPA that he was talking to, and she said it was her.
We're not finished.
But he said he actually had one. He didn't hire her. No, she refused. What, Josh?
Yeah. I said you haven't done finished all of the verification yet.
Yeah, I still need to actually have really kind of doctor face-to-face kind of stuff. But yeah, she seems legit so far. All right, much love to you, Ben. I know he's got to run. Thank you very much. Chelsea, thank you very much. Ike, thank you very much. I'm wicked good. Thank you very much. Yeah, this was actually really, like I said, enjoyable. I really like these call-ins, and I like to have people call in and just kind of ask their questions because unlike other channels, we actually answer them.
What? Yeah, and it's nice to hear from you guys too and what you think and what your opinions are on the situation. I know sometimes it's going to be frustrating being a listener and not being able to sometimes not feeling like you're being as heard or your point or your question isn't being as heard, because sometimes things get lost in the chat and sometimes people just aren't comfortable and they would rather ask it in person. So definitely appreciate all the call-ins.
Absolutely. And God, you got anything you want to leave us with, and then we'll take us out?
Not really, other than to be sure to watch the Weekly Derp tonight at 9 Eastern. I think Ilya in the chat will correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's still 9. But yeah, I don't have anything else.
All right. Well, with that, guys, thank you very much for watching. We look forward to your comments. People have been leaving a lot of comments lately, and I've been really fascinated by them. Some pro, some con. But I've left pretty much all the comments, unless they're outright troll or just one of those weird, hey, online girls here thing. But I get those still. But yeah, for the most part, if you don't agree and you're civil about it, that's fine. But if you come in hot and heavy, just spewing narrative and not looking for answers, you're going to get deleted. You're just going to get gone. Don't waste your time. That's gone down quite a bit, though. What, Josh?
Look at the 5 C's video if you're curious as to what the most lucrative way of approaching us will probably be.
Yep. And before I forget, full circle, go to my Twitter. I really do want people to look at Fun Fact, search it. If you don't know how to do that, go to my video description. I actually did it for you, but search Fun Facts or fun fact on my timeline and give me what you think is an accurate number. 50, 60, 70, 80, 100%. I'm trying for 95% accurate, but I'll take an 85 to 90. That's nothing to be ashamed of. And then compare it to what UNIRock's accuracy was. And be objective, right? I mean, I know you guys agree with me for the most part, but be objective. I like to know if I got something wrong. Hey, Steve got the wrong here. Okay, yeah, I was incorrect there, and let's change it. And compare it to how many things that UNIRock has fixed. Is that fair, Josh? I think that's fair. For them leaving in the comments.
I don't know. I just decided to huff this marker as vape stuff.
Cheshire's losing it. Can we just end this now before
Yeah.
it goes any
I
further?
didn't actually huff it. It hurt
Good
me
night.
snort.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.